Imagine standing inside a major train station in Los Angeles. Overhead announcements echo through the terminal as aging Amtrak trains slowly pull into the platforms, still operating at speeds that, in many cases, barely exceed 50 miles per hour. This remains the reality of passenger rail in the world's largest economy in 2026. For nearly 17 years, Americans have continued hearing about the dream known as the California High-Speed Rail Project, a system originally envisioned to connect Los Angeles and San Francisco in roughly 3 hours. But after almost 2 decades, what many taxpayers mostly see are unfinished concrete structures scattered across California's Central Valley, while projected costs have now surged beyond $100 billion. For many analysts, the delays no longer represent merely an engineering challenge. They have become a symbol of something much larger: the growing difficulty of executing large-scale infrastructure projects in the United States and across much of the Western world. And perhaps the most frustrating part is the widening gap between ambition and reality. At a time when the world is discussing artificial intelligence, maglev transportation, and industrial-scale automation, completing a modern rail system somehow appears more difficult than ever. Ambitious renderings and promotional videos continue to appear year after year, yet the actual progress on construction sites tells a very different story. According to reporting from the Los Angeles Times and Reuters, the first active construction segment, spanning approximately 171 miles through the Central Valley, has already consumed an estimated $35 billion, dramatically exceeding original projections. Meanwhile, federal officials have previously warned that billions in funding could potentially be reconsidered due to concerns surrounding the project's long-term completion strategy. At this point, the California High-Speed Rail Project is no longer simply about transportation. It has become a larger question about whether modern America can still build infrastructure at the scale and speed it once could. Behind these delays lies a complicated web of overlapping problems: prolonged land disputes, complex environmental review processes, rising construction costs, and a fragmented management structure where even minor adjustments can sometimes take years to approve. For many infrastructure analysts, the California High-Speed Rail Project is beginning to represent a much larger question. Can modern democracies still execute megaprojects at the speed that once defined 20th century America? And that question extends far beyond California itself. Increasingly, experts are asking something even broader. How fast is the modern world still capable of building? Because when you shift your attention to East Africa, the contrast becomes difficult to ignore. In Kenya, the standard gauge railway connecting the port city of Mombasa to the capital, Nairobi, stretches nearly 310 miles and was completed in roughly 3 years at a reported cost of approximately $3.8 billion. For many international observers, that level of execution speed is difficult to imagine when compared with the prolonged delays affecting major infrastructure projects across parts of the developed world. The railway was built with significant support from Chinese financing and engineering firms. But what attracted global attention was not simply the pace of construction, it was the industrialized approach behind it. From land preparation and concrete production to elevated bridge assembly and rail installation, nearly every stage of the process was standardized at an extremely high level. The project functioned less like a traditional construction site and more like a continuously moving industrial production system. In several areas of weak grassland terrain, engineers implemented large-scale ground compaction techniques before construction even began. Massive steel weights were repeatedly dropped from significant heights to create shock waves that compressed the soil layers below, strengthening the ground enough to support rail infrastructure weighing hundreds of tons. It was a style of engineering heavily focused on speed, scale, and industrial efficiency, an approach China has repeatedly applied across major infrastructure projects over the past 2 decades. But for many observers, the most striking part of the project was not the railway itself. It was the enormous, elevated viaducts stretching across Kenya's natural landscape. Large sections of the line were lifted above ground level to reduce environmental disruption and allow wildlife to continue moving freely beneath the tracks. Thousands of massive concrete pillars were constructed to create a continuous rail corridor extending across the African savanna. To install these enormous bridge segments, construction teams relied on specialized launching gantry systems, massive engineering machines capable of lifting and positioning concrete beams weighing dozens of tons with extraordinary precision. And this is where the project began to resemble industrial manufacturing more than traditional construction. Components were mass-produced near the site itself, then transported and assembled in a continuous sequence, almost like a moving production line. That is why many infrastructure experts describe projects like this as factory-style infrastructure, systems where efficiency, standardization, and construction speed are pushed to the absolute limit. And in a world increasingly shaped by logistics competition and supply chain dominance, the speed of construction is no longer simply an engineering advantage. It has become a strategic advantage, because the contrast here goes far beyond machinery or project timelines. It reflects a much larger competition over economic influence and infrastructure capability in the 21st century. For many analysts, the nearly 310-mile railway in Kenya represents more than a transportation project. It is viewed as part of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative, where Beijing exports not only investment capital, but entire industrial and engineering ecosystems. From rail steel and locomotives to signaling systems and operational training, much of the supply chain was integrated using the same industrial model China spent decades developing domestically. Thousands of local workers were trained to operate rail systems far more advanced than the aging infrastructure Kenya had relied on for decades. And for the local economy, the impact became visible almost immediately through faster freight movement and stronger logistics connections. Journeys that once required nearly 2 days by truck could now be completed in just a matter of hours by rail. That is why many developing nations increasingly view infrastructure not simply as transportation, but as a direct engine for productivity, trade, and long-term economic growth. Of course, this model also comes with serious debates surrounding public debt, geopolitical influence, and economic dependency. But regardless of those concerns, the speed at which projects like these are being executed is creating growing competitive pressure across the global infrastructure landscape. And that brings the conversation back to the United States. The real question is no longer simply why the California high-speed rail project has faced delays. The deeper question is whether existing systems are still capable of competing at the scale and speed demanded by the 21st century. While many countries accelerate investment into logistics networks, seaports, and high-speed rail, the United States continues struggling with prolonged approval processes, rising land acquisition costs, and shifting political priorities between administrations. For many infrastructure experts, California has increasingly become a case study in how difficult large-scale project execution has become within modern democracies. What makes the situation particularly striking is that America has never lacked technology, engineering talent, or financial resources. The challenge lies elsewhere: coordination, consensus, and the ability to move rapidly at national scale. The very capabilities that once allowed the United States to build its iconic interstate highway system and other landmark infrastructure projects during the 20th century. And when analysts look more closely at the railway project in Kenya, one detail stands out beyond construction speed alone: the extraordinary level of standardization embedded throughout the entire process. Advanced thermite welding technology was used to fuse rail sections into continuous steel tracks stretching for hundreds of miles, creating smoother operation and significantly reducing vibration compared to older rail systems. At the same time, key stages of construction, including sleeper installation and ballast distribution, were heavily mechanized, allowing work to move forward continuously like an industrial assembly line. It is the same model China has repeatedly applied across many large-scale infrastructure projects over the past 2 decades. Maximum standardization, massive construction scale, and tightly integrated supply chains operating almost as a single industrial system. The contrast with California, therefore, becomes even more striking. In the United States, a major infrastructure project often must pass through multiple layers of approvals, environmental reviews, legal disputes, and shifting political priorities across different administrations. For projects that stretch across decades, even small changes in policy direction can dramatically affect both timelines and overall costs. Many analysts argue that the California high-speed rail project is not necessarily suffering from a lack of technology or investment capital. The United States still possesses some of the world's most advanced engineering firms and innovation capabilities. The challenge is increasingly structural. Within today's highly complex regulatory environment, coordinating between government agencies, contractors, local communities, and legal systems has become an enormous obstacle for large-scale infrastructure development. Meanwhile, China benefits from a very different model, one built around centralized supply chains and synchronized execution at massive scale, from material production and construction to long-term operations. That level of coordination allows projects to move forward at speeds that many developed economies would struggle to replicate under similar political and legal conditions. And that is why the story of Kenya's railway extends far beyond a single transportation project in East Africa. It reflects a much larger shift in how infrastructure capability itself is becoming a new form of strategic power in the 21st century. For the United States, the most important question may no longer be whether the country still has the technology to build ambitious projects. The deeper question is whether the current system remains flexible enough to execute large-scale infrastructure at the speed demanded by a rapidly changing world. Because ultimately, this story is not just about a railway line or a delayed megaproject. It raises a much broader question about how modern societies organize themselves and build for the future. Are today's systems still designed primarily for efficiency and execution? Or have they become so layered and complex that delivering major projects at necessary speed is becoming increasingly difficult? The reality is that the world is changing extremely fast. Nations are now competing not only through technology and finance, but through construction capability, logistics integration, and the ability to deploy infrastructure at scale. And within that competition, execution speed is becoming a genuine strategic advantage. What many observers find most striking is not simply that a developing country like Kenya successfully built a modern railway system. It is the growing contrast between the speed of execution seen in emerging infrastructure projects and the prolonged delays affecting some of the world's most advanced economies. For the United States, this may be better understood as a warning rather than a failure. America still possesses many of the world's leading universities, the most powerful technology companies, and an innovation ecosystem that much of the world continues trying to emulate. But the larger question is whether the current system remains flexible enough to transform ambitious ideas into real-world results at the speed demanded by the 21st century. Because in the end, Megaprojects are not judged by speeches, renderings, or political promises. They are judged by what actually gets built. And perhaps the California high-speed rail project has become a powerful reminder that in today's era of global competition, execution capability may matter just as much as technology or financial resources.